Hello, people watching new car reviews on the internet. Welcome to this, the all-new 2024 Subaru Crosstrek Wilderness Edition. This is what a Subaru is supposed to be, a weird-looking little lifted hatchback that you can take anywhere. Always happy to have a Subaru on the lift. Let's take a look at the holy shit. Someone had fun. I mean, if you own a Crosstrek and it's not covered in mud, you're doing it wrong anyway, so I applaud whoever did that. Also, if you notice, the back bumper says Eurobus. All right. First up, the exhaust is all stainless steel in construction and the muffler is fairly slim so it doesn't impede the departure angle. Also, surprisingly enough, this thing's capable of towing 3,500 pounds. Out back, partial pun intended, the Crosstrek utilizes a mostly steel in construction double wishbone suspension, aluminum rear knuckles, Subaru Showa, paired with a set of Subaru Showa branded dampers that are a coilover design, and the coil spring is a ½ inch taller for the Wilderness Edition. While the Wilderness Edition of the Crosstrek does still come with the standard R160 open type differential with brake-based torque vectoring capabilities, it does have a different final drive ratio just for this model at 411. The rear anti-sway bar, which is chassis mounted, measures in at just 16 millimeter in diameter. The third generation of the Subaru Crosstrek, codenamed GU internally, is basically a Subaru Impreza on steroids, and depending on how many options you add on this thing, it can weigh as much as 3,417 pounds, which the Wilderness is the heaviest of all the trims. Plastic. Good. Hairy cardboard, not good. And this is why. Look how hard that is to clean after you take it off-road. Subaru back in the day used to have an STI parts catalog full of goodies for their vehicles. And this, why isn't there one with big aluminum skid plates, a rear locker, a remote reservoir, STI dampers? There's so many parts that they could make for this thing and sell aftermarket. 63 millimeter outside diameter stainless steel piping. As far as the transmission goes, there is only one option now with the third generation Crosstrek, and that is the TR580 Lineartronic CVT. You can no longer get an optional manual transmission, which is a massive letdown for enthusiasts. This model is capable of handling a maximum torque input of 250 Newton meters or 184 pound-feet. On the upside, the Lineartronic CVTs and Subarus are a metal chain type, and the chain is manufactured by LUK, the German clutch company, and they're a little bit better performing and more robust than your average run-of-the-mill CVT. Because Subaru utilizes a longitudinal drivetrain configuration, unlike almost all of its competitors, that means room for maintenance access is great. Front suspension, most of which is constructed out of steel, is a McPherson strut type with aluminum knuckles. Front anti-sway bar measures in at approximately 25 millimeter in diameter. Yep, that front skid plate, despite being mostly plastic, definitely held up because someone pounded the hell out of this off-road. It has a little bit of aluminum up front. It's like a pound of dirt in there. It's time for the braking test. Nobody behind me. Ready? Whoa, jeez! That was more aggressive than I was expecting. A lot of nosedive. Stopping distance was average. Nothing super impressive. The pedal feedback though was strong, and the initial bite was good. That braking was just made possible thanks to a set of 2-piston floating front caliper with a 315 millimeter or 12.4 inch front rotor. The wheels on the Wilderness Edition, they are a 17x7 with a plus 55 millimeter offset Enki alloy wheel wrapped in a 225/60 17-inch Yokohama Geolandar all-terrain tire. It's R, Geolandar. Massive missed opportunity though, Subaru, with all the gold accents on here, which I like. Why didn't you offer an option for a gold wheel. That is so quintessential Subaru with its history in the World Rally Championship and its colors of WR Pearl Blue with gold wheels. Love the cladding because this would be destroyed with rock chips if it didn't have it. Plastic? Yeah, that's a win. Plastic inner fender liners, no hairy cardboard. Out back, you get a single piston caliper with a 284.5mm or 11.2-inch rotor, and the wheel and the tire, same size as you have up front. Hairy cardboard, but I will give credit when it's due. This cleaned up extremely well considering this thing was covered in mud before. In the name of science, I am now going to give this thing the beans. Bolstering assessment. That's better than I thought it was going to be. Weird. It has bolstering. The seats are heated. Both of them, too.
Cool.
What? This thing got a butt airbag? Why would they put the label down there? These seats are all weather and water resistant. However, they are butt sweat inducing. So if you have short shorts or skirts and sweaty thighs, enjoy. The driver's seat is power, but passenger seat is not. As far as drive modes go, on the steering wheel, I have controls for my SI drive. Don't know what SI drive is? It's buttons on the steering wheel that say S and I, and you press them while you drive. SI drive explained. You're welcome, Subaru. And I can go from intelligent to sport, which is primarily just your throttle response. Also, look at the little Crosstrek. Its brake lights illuminate. As well as I can slap it over into manual mode, and they do give you paddle shifters with the SI drive on this Wilderness edition. But this is a CVT, and that's not really a performance game. It just makes you think it is. So I'm going to leave it in sport, drive, give this thing a little assistance, and let it eat. Ready? Ooh, okay. And then there was a delay. Hey, it's acting like a CVT though. It's not making fake shifts. Good. Good. That's good. It's peppy. It doesn't like launching though. It's a CVT. You should only expect it wouldn't. Hood pop. Is that a decal or paint? Oh, it's a decal. Yeah, there's definitely room for hood scoop ducting and an intercooler in here. To hail, there's 3 windshield washer squirters. Underneath the hood of the 2024 Subaru Crosstrek Wilderness is the FB25 Delta, which is an all aluminum, naturally aspirated, horizontally opposed 2.5-liter 4-cylinder that produces 182 horsepower at 5,800 RPM and 178 pound-feet of torque at 3,700 RPM. While this is the only engine you can get in a Wilderness edition, it is not the only engine you can get in a Crosstrek. You can also get the smaller 2-liter FB20 on the lower trims. The FB25 has been around now essentially since 2011, so over a decade of time to work out any bugs and kinks and add changes and improvements to it. It is over-squared at 94 by 90 millimeter bore and stroke with a 12.0 to 1 compression ratio. It does employ Subaru's dual AVCS, which stands for Active Valve Control System, on both intake and exhaust cams. It does only have direct injection, no port fuel injection to keep the back of the intake valves clean. Because it is a horizontally opposed boxer engine, the center of gravity is super down low. The cylinder heads are down here by the frame rails, but there actually is about a foam hand's width of room between the valve cover, so not as bad to work on as you think it would be. AC compressor and alternator are up top, super easy to access for maintenance, as well as the oil filter right here in this little dish. Pretty good room in front of the accessory drive to get to the belts for maintenance. Electronic brake booster. The engine sits predominantly in front of the center line of the axle. As you can see, the strut towers are located right here and does not have any form of a strut tower brace. Active grille shutters in front of the AC condenser and radiator, as well as an auxiliary heat exchanger mounted right in front, which is most likely for power steering, but there's a slight chance it's actually going to the CVT, which would be super nice to have its own dedicated CVT cooler. All right, time to take this thing for a rip. What I'm about to do is something a car should not be designed to do. At least I'm going to try to tackle this hill climb that I usually reserve for body-on-frame off-road package trucks. I don't think it's gonna do it. If I select the little car logo, I then have X mode where I can select that, and I have snow and dirt, normal, or deep snow and mud. I'm gonna select snow and dirt. Unfortunately, this does not have an optional locking diff package, which I wish Subaru would do. That would be great if they could at least offer it as an optional package. Also have the vehicle auto hold, steering responsive headlights, and auto stop start that you can disable. I like that. Go to driving assist. Tons of robot safety features if you're a horrible driver. Now in X mode, this thing has a maximum 4.066 to 1 ratio within the CVT. In the 411 rear end, should help a little bit. I'm not airing down the tires. And I have 9.3 inches of ground clearance. That's really good for a car. Robots are getting angry. Come on, you little goat. Are you serious? Hell yeah! I cannot believe it! The Crosstrek actually climbed that hill? Are you serious? This is a fucking car! I have no idea where I am. I have no trail cams. Oh, the hill's over there. Okay. Same setting. I'm gonna go downhill. I don't have any telemetry on the screen. It would be nice if they offered that. Also, optional trail cam package would be kind of nice. I'm gonna let off the brake and let it do its own thing, maybe? Nope, I'm not gonna do that. There goes my other camera. So I trust using my foot a little bit better. Well, now it's doing good. I would be doing Subarus of the world an injustice by not tackling the rally special stage in this thing. I don't think I want to use X mode for it though. I'm going to keep it in normal and I'm going to defeat traction control. Ready? Go! Oh geez. Man, this is where this could really benefit from the FA24 and the WRX. That would be... Why don't they just do that? They could part spin it. Crosstrek STI. I mean, it's good. Don't get me wrong, this is good. The suspension and the chassis and everything is doing pretty well. I just want more power. I want the turbo option. Yeah, it lets you flick it around pretty good. I don't feel the robot nannies intervening at all. Letting me do what I want. It's not bad. It won't right there. It would not let me get out sideways and actually understeered a little bit. Pretty good. I won't say it is the king of the rally special stage though. It did good, but you need that turbo option. In a DC-CD, that would be choice. In a 6-speed manual. For 95% of the people that buy one of these Crosstreks and use them for what Subaru intended the customer to use them for, I think you're going to be extremely excited with this thing, and for the money, it's great value. For the 5% that are on more of the extreme spectrum or car enthusiast, the limitations and downsides are going to be the fact that it has a CVT. The technology is neat, but it's just not a performance transmission. No matter what they try to do to a CVT, even the higher torque model, they're not a performance transmission. In concept, I guess they could be. That's why they're banned from Formula One, but the limitations of what kind of torque these things can hold is just not that for something you can modify. Also, despite this being longitudinal drivetrain configuration, it is front-wheel drive bias. It's primarily 60-40 split. The most you can ever really see out of this thing is 50-50 from at least what I could feel in the driver's seat. It never once felt like it was more rear biased. But as you saw in the hill climb test, this thing is still extremely off-road capable. And like I said, 95% of the people that buy one of these, it's gonna exceed anything that you want to be able to do with it. It smells like a campfire made out of new shower curtains in here. In a good way, like robots would love it. It's a mural of frog gargoyles. They're stone toads, and there's a flying rock bat and the floor mats. Those are neat. Little car, but tons of room everywhere in the back seat. It's good. There isn't a power liftgate because they expect the owners of these to be in shape. That is adorable. There's a little Crosstrek on the plastic back here. Cup holder, secondary cup holder, Obviously, the seats fold. Nope, there's no subwoofer down here. Copper, gold, call it whatever you want. There's lots of those accents in the interior with matching stitching as well as faux carbon looking plastic trim, faux carbon fabric on the shift boot. The window buttons have a little bit of piano black at the very tip. I like that. Wireless phone charger or a place to teleport pennies to another dimension. What the hell hieroglyphic is on the donut in the cup holder? What is that supposed to be? What kind of shape is that? Both of them have it. Weird. More of that faux carbon trim and a squishy, grippy plastic dash. Infotainment system wise, you get over 11 inches. It makes the graphics easy to quickly glance at, super idiot proof. Has an optional Harman Kardon sound system for just over $2,000. I like it, but I don't know if it's worth that much money. Matching all-weather floor mats. This one is equipped with a hole in the roof. For those of you that like that type of thing. Well, that's squishy. It's actually nice materials for the price of this car. Stop yelling at me. I'm gonna put it on. Jeez. Safe but annoying. You see that plastic plug right there? That's how you flex on your passengers so they know you're not in a base model. Some more blank squares, and this is a fairly loaded car. I wonder what those are for. On road, the fuel economy is good, but it's not excellent. And on-road quality, it's super smooth and comfortable, despite being a lift-in hatchback with off-road features. It doesn't compromise its on-road comfort. Off-road, it is actually extremely comfortable. The suspension's not bad in here. You can see over this section of whoops that I'm going over. It handles it nicely and like it's comfy. I like the size and proportions of the Crosstrek. It's just a nimble feeling car that you can kind of chuck around. It's enjoyable in that aspect of driving it. Considering I've reviewed a Crosstrek off-road already, and the number one question everyone is probably watching this and is going to ask is the Wilderness package any better off-road? And absolutely, hands down, that is a yes. This is what Subaru should be. It is now time to give this thing some scores, starting with the bean score, the assessment of the feeling you get in your gut when you give it the beans. And Crosstrek Wilderness gets a rating of. Next is the cookie score, the assessment of value, and as this one is equipped and opted out, it comes to just over 35 grand. It's getting a rating of, followed by the wrench score, the assessment of ease of maintenance, and this is getting a rating of. Next is the meatball scores, the assessment of off-road capabilities, and the Crosstrek Wilderness gets a rating of. Lastly is the penguin score, the assessment on how much I personally like a vehicle, and this Crosstrek gets a rating of. I'll argue that this is probably the best Subaru model that is currently on the market over the WRX. Just give it an STI version. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this review. I will see you soon with another. Bye!